Buenos tardes, everyone. Christopher Ludwig here at the end of Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Mexico. We've just wrapped up our last panel, but with a last special treat. I'm here with Siegfried Jung. He's the VP of Production Control, Production Systems and Logistics at BMW Group, San Luis Potosi. New in the role. Very happy to have you here. Siegfried, you just started in 1st of August, I believe, here in Mexico. Can you tell us what's been most surprising for you so far in leading BMW's logistics and production control here?
Yeah, first of all, Christopher, thank you for having me here at the conference. It's been a pleasure to be here. And yeah, what was the first impression I had here was clearly the talent that I met here, because we have a very, very young workforce. So the average age of our associates is at 32 years, which is, coming from Europe, very unusual. And also not just that we have a very young talent pool, it's just that we have very ambitious associates. So that was actually a great pleasure for me to start in this position and to see that these are people that support the change that we are undergoing now with be it our product, be it with our production system. And it's been actually a pleasure to start in this new position and to see that I have so many young, ambitious people on hand and that we can achieve the future challenges in a very easy manner, because people want to have a change, people want to be part of the change, and that is pretty impressive. And I must say, I didn't expect it, and I'm very happy to see this, because there's another thing, thinking even in a long term. I think the Mexican labor market will be a talent pool, not just for the Mexican plant, but also for the international plants. And this is something that I will definitely see as part of my role, to make sure that I'm not just supplying talents to our plant, but also to the global network.
Exciting, and flexibility of the workforce is something that came up quite a bit at this event as a real competitive advantage in Mexico. San Luis Potosi, of course, a fairly new plant, only started production a few years ago, so you have the benefit of some state-of-the-art systems in production. Do you think that applies as well in logistics and production control, and can you give us any examples?
Definitely, we're definitely up to world-class level. One thing that I would like to mention is our control room, which is pretty unique in the BMW Group, and this has been set up locally. So we have now this control room that connects production control, material control, physical logistics, and it gives us a very good indication as to what is the situation in the production for the current day, but also an outlook on the next couple of days. And that's something that we've been using intensively now since I just said this morning we had a meeting with one of our board members. We have another VUCA year behind us, yeah, and we've faced both sides of the coin. We had a lot of shift cancellations due to the semiconductor situation, but on the other hand, we were also able to flexibly react to needs or demands coming out of the US market, where the plug-in hybrid was very popular, and we managed to increase our production within a short period of time. So that's saying that with the help of digital tools, where we use the control room, but also with the flexibility of the workforce, I think it's proven to be a very mature plant, and I'm very happy to be part of this institution. Yeah.
It's exciting indeed, and you know, what would you identify as some of your top priorities now coming into this role, managing logistics for the plant and for Mexico over the next year? It's going to be a VUCA year probably too, bearing in mind. So what are some of your priorities?
Yeah, clearly, because VUCA is not going to stop next year. So our main topic will be flexibility, flexibility, flexibility. On the one hand, for our plant, but also for the whole supply chain. And I think it's been like this for the last couple of years, and our process partners, be it the suppliers, be it our service providers, they have realized that this is the new normal. Yeah, and as much as we are trying to cope with the situation, this is what we're also communicating to them, that our expectation is clearly that they should be part of the solution. So it shouldn't be us who are trying to drag them into this, and they should come up with ideas, with new ways of doing the business, and with making it possible that we react on a very short term to the changes that we're facing, be it from political situations, but also from the industry point of view. you. And this is clearly my goal to make sure that we be able to achieve more and more flexibility in our plant with our partners.
Yeah, and speaking of the partners, what are some things you would identify that you'll need from them to support you in these objectives?
Mm-hmm. So one thing that we're looking especially is to have more local partners. Yeah, we are with our QMT organization, with our purchasing organization, but also on the logistics side, we are always interested in new partners that can produce locally, because clearly when it comes to flexibility, this is the most flexible model that you could have. It is a local supplier. Of course, we need to look at the entire supply chain. Where does the raw material, the semi-finished material come from? However, we strongly believe that with local for local approach, this is the future, because clearly Mexico has the 6th biggest automotive industry, and this was also one of the reasons why we built this plant here in this country, and we want to make use of the potential that this country has. I mentioned the talent. Now it's just up to the suppliers to go with us on this endeavor.
Absolutely, and that's an important point, I think, the localization of not just suppliers, but also of logistics partners and providers to really take advantage of that talent here. Looking longer term, electrification and zero emission are clearly global strategies for BMW, and in Mexico, at some point there will, I'm sure, become the electric vehicle production as well. So what do you see as the most important areas to address now in Mexico in order to achieve these longer term objectives?
Mm-hmm. So one point that we are always addressing is obviously the infrastructure, because we can offer the best products in the world. If the infrastructure is not out there, then the customer will not accept the product. So this is one thing where we're collaborating closely with be it authorities, but be it also new ideas coming up that we know from other regions of the world, where we see that here in Mexico these ideas have not been developed yet. Yeah? However, we also experienced that there's a lot of willingness to go this path with us. So this is one of the biggest things that we expect from our supply base, that we look at new ideas on how can we make this world a better place in terms of not just production, but also electricity, CO2 emissions, transportation. So wherever we're looking at, we see opportunities, and we're strongly pushing for our partners to be part of it, and to support us in this approach of becoming a green plant. Like I mentioned before, we would like to stick to our plan to become the CO2 neutral plant in 2024, and so far everything looks very promising. And having said this, I think this is a strong message also to our partners to be part of this path that we have taken now.
Absolutely, and as you said, that would be the first BMW plant globally, correct? That would be CO2 free. So being part of that from the logistics side also key. Siegfried, this has been great to share with you the stage. The session and panel that we had earlier will be available as a video on demand on the website. We'll share more about that soon here as well on social media, and we look forward to sharing the journey ahead with you and BMW here in Mexico.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Thanks very much, everyone. We'll be back soon.